Hi, welcome to part, I think it's 14 now, I lost track, of the Scrappy Sweater Crochet Along series. We are coming along. This week we are going to be doing the Herringbone Half Double Crochet. So here's a look at what that looks like. We will be doing one round to kind of flatten out this fan wave stitch from the disc stitch that we previously did, just so that it is nice and flat and straight to do the herringbone on. But here's what it looks like, and let's get to the tutorial. So before we jump into this week's stitch, we are going to do one round to kind of flatten out the wave from last week's stitch. So you're just going to tie in as per usual in the underarm section of your sweater. And then to flatten out the wave from the previous stitch, we're going to start by chaining one and doing a mixture of half double crochets and single crochets. Since I tied into my last double crochet of one of my 5 double crochet clusters, my first half double crochet is into the 5 double crochets together, and my next one is going to be in the first double crochet of that next cluster of 5 that you see me counting out here. So that's going to count as 3 half double crochets, and then we're going to do 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches, and then we're going to return to half double crochets. So we're going to do a half double crochet in the last double crochet of the 5 cluster, a half double crochet in the double crochet 5 together space, and then we're going to skip the chain 1 and into the first double crochet of the next double crochet 5 cluster, we are going to do our 3rd half double crochet. So you see me, I just did another 3 half double crochets. We're skipping that chain 1 space. And then we go back to doing our single crochet. So 1, 2, 3 single crochets in that middle section of my 5 double crochets from the previous round. That last double crochet is going to have a half double crochet in it, half double crochet and the double crochet 5 together, skip the chain 1 and into the first double crochet of the next cluster, half double crochet, and then again return to your single crochets. So 3 single crochets in the middle of the double crochet cluster from the previous round, and then go back to your half double crochets. The reason we are switching between half double crochet and single crochet is because they are different heights, and you're going to see when I step back that it is flattening out that wave texture that the disc stitch gave our sweater before we get into our next stitch. So here you can see that that change in height is flattening out our sweater. So we're just going to repeat that pattern around. If you need any timestamps, here they are, but I will meet you at the join and then we'll get into the stitch for this week. So here we are at the join. I have my 3 half double crochets, which means I need 3 single crochets. So there's 2, and then we'll do a slip stitch to join with that initial chain 1 to be my 3rd single crochet. So slip stitch to join. And as you can see, we are nice and flat now versus the wave from the previous stitch. So now we can jump into our herringbone half double crochet. So we're going to start with the chain 1, and then into our first stitch, we are going to yarn over, insert our hook, pull loop through, slip stitch through the first loop on our hook, and then yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. So that is our herringbone half double crochet. So start like half double crochet and pull your loop through, slip stitch through the first loop, and then pull through the other 2. So slip stitch through the first loop, yarn over, pull through the other 2. So it's going to be our half double crochet, but slip stitch through the first loop, then yarn over and pull through the other 2. So here you see me doing it a couple more times. So slip stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, slip stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, slip stitch, lost it. So slip stitch through the first loop and then yarn over and pull through the other 2. So here's a close-up of what that looks like. And then we're just going to repeat this herringbone half double crochet all the way around, and I'll meet you at the join. So I'm just going to do a couple more. So again, like the half double crochet, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, pull loop through, slip, and then yarn over and pull through the other 2 loops. Again, if you need timestamps, here's the timestamp for how to do the herringbone half double crochet. But to join, we're just going to do a slip stitch with that initial chain 1 like we've done for many of our previous rounds. So here's what it looks like with the 2 rounds. So the round to flatten it out, and then 1 round of herringbone half double crochet. And then I'm just going to do another round of exactly what we just did. So this is round 2 of the herringbone half double crochet. Similar to the first round, we're going to start with a chain 1 and then just go directly into that half double crochet, where the difference is you slip stitch the first loop and then yarn over and pull through the other 2. Again, if you need a timestamp for anything in this tutorial, here are the important timestamps. This is a pretty simple stitch once you get in the flow with it. Be sure if you have any questions, you drop them below, but we're just going to do 1 more round of this around so you can see what it looks like with 2 rounds. It's a really nice texture. It's nice and squishy. You're going to repeat this around the body and join like we did in round 1, and then repeat all 3 rounds on both of the sleeves. If you need the timestamps for all 3 rounds, here they are, but let's try it on and see what it looks like. So here's what it looks like on now. We're getting there. A lot of people have asked me about the neckline once we get the length we want. Obviously the sleeves are going to take a lot more rounds than the body will, so you'll be able to add in whatever stitches you want to repeat that stitch in a different color, in the same color, whatever you want to do to finish your sleeves out, because especially if you have long arms like me, it's going to be a lot longer than the body is going to be. But as I was saying, for the neckline, once we finish with the stitches for the sweater, I will do a video to go over different ways to bring in your neckline. If you want it a little tighter, if you want to do a turtleneck, other options kind of that you can use for your neckline. But here is a close-up of what the herringbone half double crochet looks like. It's nice and squishy. It's a different texture versus the others we've done recently, so that's kind of why I picked it out, that it was nice and flat. And we got rid of that like wave from the disc stitch. But yeah, again, as always, if you have any questions, please be sure to drop them below. And if you have any stitches you would like to see, drop them below as well. Thanks for following along.